Hello, my name is Julien Milli. I'm an astronomer at IPAC, the Institute for Planetology and Astrophysics of Grenoble. And today, in this talk, I'd like to show you how astronomers can use their knowledge and their skills to preserve the environment and fight about light pollution. I'll report on the project that we've started in Grenoble, and that can hopefully inspire other people in other cities. And that's a project done in collaboration with some other institutes and associations that I will mention later on. So here is how the light pollution look like in Grenoble. This is a map that shows you how many stars you can see depending on where you are. And of course, the city center of Grenoble is where it's the reddest or even the whitest, where you can see even less than 100 stars per night. So it's pretty intense, the light pollution in the city. The areas on the west, on the east, or in the north are mountain ranges. And this is our dream. We have the dream with some colleagues here at IPAC that one day we'll be able to see the Milky Way as we can see it, for instance, in a Plateau de Bure, which is where the radiometer of IRAM is located, not too far from Grenoble at 3,000 meters in the mountain. So how are we going to go there? And how did we start our project? So everything started with an event called the Day of the Night. This event, it's a national event to raise awareness on light pollution and the protection of the biodiversity at night. It started in 2016, and Grenoble started to turn off public lighting in some specific neighborhoods during this event. And our institute, IPAG, organized some stargazing events to talk about the sky for this occasion. It grew wider in 2021, where this event was not only a single day, but a whole month, involving many partners and supported by the metropolis. So here are the cities who took part in 2021. You can see in gray shade all the cities of the metropolis that accepted to turn off the lights during 2 hours during the night. And this is the time lapse of what happened from the Bastille, the little hill in the north of the city. You can see at the beginning the lights are on, and at the end they are turned off. I'll show it again just for you to see. The red line shows more or less where the light was turned off. So this part was turned off, this part stayed turned on. Unfortunately, it was cloudy during that day, so that's why you can see this orange and yellowish haze above the city. And I told you, so this is last year and this year, there has been events during a whole month, not only one day. So many activities. We managed to gather about 20 people at IPAG to show the night sky, participate to those activities on various sites spread around Grenoble. And there were more than 600 people on campus, 1,000 people in the city center. So it was a great success. And we also had prepared these events with anticipation by going, for instance, in schools and talking about that with the students and the pupils in those schools. Now, how to go further? How can we document scientifically these initiatives and help and support the municipalities to decrease lighting? That's the topic of my talk here. So we have the chance at IPAC to have an all-sky camera called Fripon on top of our building. You can see it here, Fripon. Fripon means Fireball Recovery and Interplanetary Observation Network. So it's a whole network with cameras spread around the country, but also in several countries in Europe. And that's how this camera look like. And we can, so it records the sky every night, and we can use that to measure the sky brightness. But it's not calibrated. So we need to calibrate it. And to do so, we've contacted a company specialized in light pollution called Dark Sky Lab that is located in Toulouse in France. And that makes little sky quality meters. Their product is called Ninox. And we've set up one just next to Fripon so that we can cross-calibrate Fripon. And you can see it here. So here is the result. These are the data recorded last September. Vertically in this graph, you see the night sky brightness in magnitude per arc second squared, and horizontally, this is the time of the night. And you can see here several curves that are overplotted one on top of the other from the whole month of September. The points that are above 18 magnitude per arc second squared are likely when there were clouds. And when there is no cloud, when the sky is clear, you can see that the magnitude of the skies goes to 19 or slightly below below in darkness, below 19 magnitude per arc second squared. You can also plot the histogram of all those points. So that's the histogram, the night sky brightness in the horizontal axis. And you can see that when there is no cloud, so this is this peak here of the histogram, we reach the best magnitude that is about 19.5 mag per arc second squared. So it's not very good, actually. It means the site is relatively polluted by the sky, is light polluted. But it's quite common for large cities like Grenoble. And we can also compare what happened in October when the light was turned off on the 15th, and the next day on October the 16th when the light was not turned off. So that's the comparison between the blue curve, the blue crosses, and the orange crosses. And the period where the lights were turned off is the gray shaded area here. And you can see that during the time when during the night where the light was turned off, we're about 0.9 magnitude darker than the next day when the light was not turned off. So there is an impact that is visible, that is detectable, although it's relatively weak, because as I said before, not all the cities took part in this event and agreed to turn off their light. So we can also do this comparison based on the all sky cameras, the all sky images from Fripon, and this is the result. You can see Jupiter here, and then the moon rising. So this is for October 15, October the 16th. And right now we're in the process of cross-calibrating Fripon, this all sky camera, with Ninox, so that we can also extract from these images the night sky brightness in magnitude per arc second squared. So that's on an ongoing project. And our interest here, what we want to do is really use all the historical data from Fripon that dates back from 2014, so that we can have the evolution of the light pollution in Grenoble from 2014 up to now. We also started to team up with local researchers in sociology to study the link with between street lighting and criminality, and researchers in ecosystems and the environments to study the impact, for instance, of light pollution on bats, insects, or animals in general. And we continued the discussion we've triggered with all the actors to convince more cities from the metropolis to decrease street lighting. Some takeaway message. So first of all, I'd like to thank all the partners we work with, especially Auroralp, who is an association very active to fight against light pollution and to do outreach in astronomy. They have helped us a lot, and they continue to come with us when we talk to representative or technical services in the cities of Grenoble to try to convince more people to switch off their lights. So we've also contacted the Fripon and Dark Sky Lab. If you're interested to do the same and monitor night sky brightness in your institute, and you know you have a Fripon camera, for instance, close to your place, don't hesitate to contact them. They are very accessible, and they can provide you with the images, for instance, for this old sky camera. And the last advice that we'd like to give is also to start little and grow step by step. That's what we did. We started with only a few areas in Grenoble who switched off their lights, and now we've managed to convince more and more cities and neighborhoods to do so. And we hope that in the future we'll be able to all the cities from Grenoble will be willing to switch off their lights. Engaging in discussion with the cities is also very important, especially with the technical services or the local representatives. And I think they are actually willing to hear our voice, and our voice really has some weight as astronomers, I think, because more and more cities now want to cut the energy consumption and save money, and so they are interested in stopping light, especially during the second part of the night. But they need to make this accepted also by their citizens, and this is where we have a role as astronomers to explain why it's important and to do some public events, conferences, to explain why light pollution is a problem for astronomy and for the biodiversity. Thanks a lot for your attention.